Hey y'all, Irix guy here, and y'all asked me. Several people have asked about the carbon props that I just added to the to my Phantom 3 Pro, and obviously they'll work with Phantom 3 Advanced as well. But because of weather, I've been able to do some testing, but I wanted to do a test that's in response to a lot of my viewers, and that's the flight time. So this video is going to be the flight time test, and basically what we're going to do, we're going to take this out, we're going to check the battery level. And we're going to set a timer, and we're going to see, in a controlled situation, we're going to see how long my Phantom 3 will fly with the carbon props. And now I'm going to do a separate video, which is not this video, but I'm going to do a separate video, which is actually a flight video, because a lot of people have, there's a lot of mixed opinions on the internet about whether or not these props, these carbon props, whether they reduce or increase the amount of video jello, the vibration. So I'm going to do a flight test so you can watch it and you can tell me what you think. Does it look more clear? Does it look less jello-y? And not that I've really noticed any jello in my previous Phantom 3 videos, but does it look more clear and more watchable than the out of the box, you know, the Phantom 3 white props that don't have any carbon reinforcement? So let's go ahead and get this thing airborne here. And I'm going to show you up close what all I have on it too. Because this video is actually going to serve several purposes, because I always use my quick disconnect prop guards. I will admit there are a few flights where I really wanted to conserve battery life and I didn't have these attached. But I'm going to attach these on there, and I've also got the you know, the camera and gimbal guard. It's made out of carbon fiber, negligible amount of weight, and we're going to see how this performs here. Just pop these on. Something else worth doing, we're going to check the wind speed here. I've got my anemometer. I'll hold this up to the camera so you can see. Here comes a gust of wind. I'm going to watch it from over here. So it looks like wind speed it's hitting about 3 knots, 1.6 knots, 2.4 knots, 2.9, 3.2. So we're seeing fluctuating wind speed right around 3 knots. The air temperature is 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Something I recommend doing too, if you've picked up one of these short iOS cables like I use, just kind of keep it, whoa, there's a bee. Whoa. Yeah, just, oh shoot. Just kind of keep it attached to your controller. Reason being is that I misplaced one of these. You probably saw some videos where I had a long cable wrapped around. That's because it fell out and I lost it. Obviously, before we fly, we're going to check our battery percentage so that we all know what it was at prior to takeoff. Just getting into the DJI Pilot app. And we're going to check the battery and everything prior to takeoff. Keep thinking there's a bee on my neck. Still having fun with the new, the latest firmware. It's no secret, I'm sure a lot of y'all have encountered the same thing. Sometimes you have to power cycle the Phantom 3 once because of the warming up message. And I know the IMU calibration did some magic with that, but I don't know. I mean, it's a minor gripe. I mean, I love this technology, but you know, it's one of those things I'm not going to fail to acknowledge that it happened. So what we have now, we have safe to fly. We're in GPS mode, GPS-P, and we're going to check our anemometer again. Still around the same wind speed, right around 3.2 knots to 2.2. Now it's, yeah, see, here comes a gust. Let's see what this gust of wind does. Now we're at no wind. Interesting. So for this, and then it just gusted. So for the sake of this video, we're experiencing wind gust up to about 3.5 knots. The battery life on this right now is 98%. So with 98% battery, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna flip my display over this way. We're going to start the engines. Again, we're at 98%. As a second measure of accuracy, I'm going to fire off the chronometer here. That means that it's certified by the COSC. It ought to be pretty accurate. Let's get this puppy airborne. And as I mentioned previously, you can see how smooth the hover is. So right now we're at 97% battery. I felt the best way to accurately gauge the flight time with the carbon fiber props would be to just do a hover scenario. Because, you know, as we mentioned, there's a minimal amount of wind, and you know, if you're flying forwards, backwards, up, down, you know, ascending, descending, whatever, you're introducing. I'm going to take it up just a little bit more. But yeah, if you're flying around rapidly, you're more quickly depleting the battery life. So this ought to be a good test of battery life that one may expect with just very casual flying, or just a very, very gentle hover. And Again, I do have the quick disconnect prop guards, the carbon fiber gimbal / camera guard, and then obviously the carbon fiber props. And you can find all of that in the Phantom and the various accessories. Check the link within this video's description. I put it all there for you on 400orbelow.com. So right now we're at 90% battery. I'm just gonna really gently fly around with this and stick this in front of the camera here to get some cool thumbnails for use later, as it is sunny out here today. It's one thing with YouTube videos, thumbnails are important, and a lot of people don't really realize that. So for that reason, I take every opportunity that I can get with sunny weather to create thumbnails for future use. We're just gently gonna just fly around here, nothing fast or high, or we're just wanting to see how much battery we can get out of this. And I'm intentionally not editing this video because I want you to see the full flight. And then likewise, when we do bring it down, I want you to see the battery percentage remaining. When it's around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you should always stay hydrated, drink a lot of water. We're at 83% battery right now. That was something I had commented about in a previous video, my first flight test with the Phantom 3 carbon prop guards. And that's how I feel that the hover seems to be more precise than it was with the factory props, the factory white props that didn't have carbon fiber reinforcement. So tell me what you think. Also, I found that the acceleration seems to be a little bit quicker. So if you're used to landing on tight areas like I do on the front of a small boat, you may want to practice with these before you take them out and attempt to land in a more tight landing area. Just a tip here from Irish Guy. Keeping track of the time here, I will tell you the battery percentage is 76%. Again, as you're watching on this video, there's been no rapid ascending and or descending. Kept it kind of close to the truck here just for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna get a really good thorough field test with a battery that, what was it, 98% when we started? I documented that at the beginning before. We're at 74% battery remaining now. Obviously, if you wanted to fast forward this video, you could, but I'm leaving that up to you. You do what you want to do. You want to watch the whole thing? Go for it. You want to fast forward it? Go for it. That's fine. I'm sticking out for the long haul because I'm filming this video. There's a little bit of wind. You can see it reacting to the wind. I'm going to pull out my anemometer and we'll see what kind of speed we got there. I got 3 knots, 2.4. And you can check the link within this video's description. I've got a link to this anemometer too. Anemometer, it's hard to say. But if you want to keep it simple, just call it a wind speed, a way to measure wind speed. A wind speed measuring device. A wind speed measuring instrument. A wind speed measuring tool. Call it what you want to call it. We are now at 64% battery life remaining. see, according to my chronometer, we're around the 6-minute mark. Obviously, you can timestamp the video as well to reference how long it's been up. And that's a question I've gotten from a lot of viewers, you know, what is the battery life? And obviously this video is serving a dual purpose. It's letting us know with the quick disconnect prop guards, the camera gimbal guard, and the new carbon fiber reinforced props, with just minimal amount of movement, you know, how long can this puppy stay airborne? Now we're at 58% battery life. Got a little gust of wind right there. 3.3 knots. Battery life remaining, 54 now. %. If you wondered how to spell anemometer, there it is right there. Anemometer. 50%. %. Go get me some shaved ice after this encounter. Or this field test, rather. We are now at 46%. Right around the 10-minute mark, and that's pretty, you know, as I've mentioned in previous videos, from a guesstimation perspective, I've typically given the guesstimate of 16 to around 21 minutes flight time, and obviously this is a very somewhat controlled hover with minimal amount of moving around, but this can give you something to expect with a Phantom 3 Professional equipped like mine is. We're at 41%. 40%. You can see it's correcting to the wind right there. Actually, quite a gust. Let me get my anemometer out to the gust. 3.6 knots. 3.8 knots. Yeah, I could tell 4 knots. So the wind picked up a small amount. %35 battery. %34. 30%. 30%, you can hear my low power alarm because I've got it triggered for 30%. Actually, I do that because often I land on a boat and I don't want to land where I'm close to low in case I did have to make a few landing attempts. Something else I always do is out of good practice, even when I'm on in a field like this, I always land on my case. I've got this case, I've got several cases for the drone. I've got the yellow one, this orange one. But it just adds, it's a game of skill. And then also, you know, when you are landing in those more challenging environments, it makes you better adept at landing on something like that. So we're at 26% battery right now. The flight time, okay, 25%, 24%. 23%. I'm going to put her down at about 20%, just so we can we'll have a good baseline there. I never like to run it all the way down. Obviously, I don't want to crash. 22%. 21%. 20%. Okay, I'm going to put her down in the case. So see that precise landing right there? Battery life remaining now, and I don't know how we can see it, 17%. So I landed at 17%. It looks like it was right below the, just right below the 15-minute mark. You know, watch the stamps within this video and do the math for yourself. But with 17% battery life remaining, with 17% battery life remaining, that is the flight time I got. You know, again, very low wind speed. You saw the anemometer. Very small amount of ascending, descending, right and left. I mean, I kept it, you know, kept it low and slow so you could see it on camera the whole time. So I'm pretty impressed with the performance. I mean, what I would do if I was the manufacturer, and obviously they, you know, the stuff they post. I mean, I guess every Phantom could be slightly different. But if I was a manufacturer, I would be a little bit more conservative with their battery life estimations. But with that said, without the, I mean, I got that with the quick disconnect prop guards. I mean, I got that performance with quick disconnect prop guards, camera and gimbal guard. Obviously, I didn't mention it earlier, but I have a polarizer filter on there. And then ultimately the carbon DJI Phantom 3 carbon fiber reinforced props that do weigh less. You can check out my unboxing video, that do weigh less, but they, you know, they are a little bit more rigid. So I'm personally impressed with the performance. You tell me what you think, and what has your experience been? You know, if you're flying with the same equipment, what have you seen in real world field tests? Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/irixguy. And again, check the link within this video's description. You can find the Phantom 3, the quick disconnect prop guards, the camera and gimbal guard, the lens filters, the carbon fiber props, the case, everything. And y'all have a good day.